everyone, welcome back to Art a la Carte. In this video I'm going to continue on talking about how to draw different kinds of clothes and things for people, and so I took some suggestions from you guys, and it was kind of a toss-up between drawing coats and dresses. So I think I'm going to go with coats, but kind of a flowy coat. First what I'm going to do is going to just do a quick stick figure drawing of a human figure. So in the sketch, I'm not going to give a detailed step-by-step on how to draw the figure. I have lots of different videos on how to do that. I have a playlist called Drawing People 101. So if you need some extra help on drawing figures, you can definitely take a look at those. And of course, if you have any questions after watching that playlist, you can leave that in the comment section of just about any video. So here I have just a regular figure, and when you're adding clothes, it's a good idea to draw the whole figure out first and then draw the clothes in over top. That way, again, like I said in other videos, you kind of know what's going on underneath the garments, so you're going to know how the fabric is going to react. Also remember to take into consideration to draw lightly so that you can erase those underlining marks and have a nice clean drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do is to sketch out kind of the shape of my cloak or my coat. And I'm going to start right up here with the top. I'm going to bring, so it's going to button in the front. I'm going to bring this center line and follow it down the front of the body. So it's going, since she's looking at a 3/4 angle, it's not going to come down straight here. It's going to come right down kind of at a 3/4 angle here. It's going to wrap around the chest, and then I'm going to have it be a flowing coat, so it's not going to follow straight down. I'm just going to have it kind of flow out a little bit. So for the top part, I want this to fit a little bit more snugly, and then as it comes down, it's going to flare out more. So you're going to take into consideration the thickness of the material, which a coat is going to have a thicker material than maybe like a light cotton, so it's not going to fold close to the figure, but it's still going to be pulled with gravity. So you'll see I have it coming out, it's following the figure, but as the figure goes in, the density of the fabric is going to come out a little bit, but you'll see it's slightly changing direction and pulling down. Again, depending on how thick your fabric is or thin your fabric is you're going to change that. Same thing over on this side. It's going to follow that out and then just kind of flow in. Now you get to decide how long do you want your coat or cloak to be. I'm going to have mine come just right above the knees. And so I'm going to wrap this around. So I'm looking pretty dead on my character, so I'm going to keep it a pretty straight line, just curved slightly. Now that I have this in here, I can begin to erase the figure behind so she's not looking like she's wearing an invisibility cloak, or a cloak that is invisible. The next thing we're going to look for is finding places that we can add any kind of pleats. So right here, I'm going to bring out a pleat down here. And what I'm going to have this now do is, so this bottom of the fabric is going to go in, and this one's going to come out in front of it. Now, if this was still invisible, you could see this fabric wrapping in and around like that, and coming out for this pleat, and then wrapping around like this. But because, you know, this fabric isn't invisible, it just cuts in behind there, and it's going to wrap around and in. And maybe I'll have another pleat coming in down over here, so immediately it's going to come pull out a little bit. And again, this is a really good reason to draw with pencil. As you're kind of designing how these pleats and folds are going to look, you can kind of erase and correct anything. This is just kind of giving you some guidelines. So a pleat over here, and maybe one final pleat here. So a question you might be asking is, how do I know where to make these pleats? And that's just going to come from practice, because if this character was alive and she moves just a little bit, the pleats are going to change. So it's how I want to create them and what I think looks the best. So as an artist, the more you practice, the more you're going to get a better feel for this, on how this coat is going to react, or this cloak, or this dress. I mean, at this point, you could turn it into a dress, but bringing in these pleats is just really a lot of observation. So I like a lot of, when I was learning how to draw clothes and things like that, I would get fashion catalogs, you know, magazines where you would buy clothes and outfits, and then I would just get pieces of paper and I would just draw tons of figures like this. I'm not trying to create a finished piece. I just want to practice this out, and I would fill the whole paper full of these kind of clothing just to practice that part out. In fact, I went as far as to draw the figure, scan that into my computer, and print out a whole bunch of figures very lightly, which then I could draw clothing over top of that, and just, I wouldn't have to draw a new figure each time, but that is a good practice for drawing figures as well. But I would just get to this stage and you know, if I wasn't happy with it, I would just move on and do another one and try to figure out and build that out. If you're finding you're drawing something and you're constantly erasing it and re-adding a line and erasing it and it's just not working out, put that one aside and redraw it again, because you might fix it in the second redraw. So let's look at her sleeves. We could have them be quarter sleeves if we wanted to kind of end them right there. We could have them long sleeves if we want to end them there. I want to put a little bit of a flare, go to the elbow and then flare out the sleeves. So this part is going to be relatively snug to the arm. And then from here down, it's going to be this nice flared sleeve. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Because of the location of this arm, I'm going to see a little bit into that sleeve. So it's going to come out from the front there, down, and then wrap back up around and behind that arm. Just like that. So now we have a nice little flare to your sleeves. It's really fun to kind of design and try out different fashions, especially if you're into character designing. Designing your character's outfits can be really, really fun. So now all that's left is to do the collar or whatever we want to do here. And I actually want to put a hood with this. So I'm going to wrap a hood around here. So this one's going to kind of come down. And then the face is going to be there, and then it's going to kind of come around here. And then wrap back around the head. And you might want to think about any kind of folds or pleats. So there we have a nice little cloak. We could add some buttons if we wanted to, or however we want to, any kind of decoration to the coat. And again, if you're at this beginning stage, don't worry about getting into all this detail. At this point, if I'm practicing clothes, this is where I would stop. The cloak itself is finished. Yeah, I'm tempted. I want to, you know, draw on the face and work on the hair and draw on the legs and the background and add color. But if I'm just practicing, this is where I would stop. And then I would go and draw a different one. I would try something out a little bit different. I would maybe change the angle or change the style a little bit, but just keep on practicing that out and kind of refrain from going into you know, things that you feel really comfortable, like drawing in the face, which I really want to do, as you can tell. So hopefully this answers some of the questions that you guys have on drawing different kinds of clothes, specifically like coats, or maybe even give you an idea on the flowy dresses and things. I am planning to do a tutorial coming up soon where we talk about, you know, adding some length to this and getting in the kind of more flow to a skirt, things like that. But if there is a garment of clothing that you would like to see in more detail how to draw, let me know in the comment section below. I'm trying to take the ones that are most popularly requested. So comment on that, or if you see someone commenting one that you like that comment, because I kind of take into consideration likes as well. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to share it on your social media, Facebook, Twitter, things like that. It really helps me out as well. And of course, if you're brand new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, thank you guys for drawing with me. And until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Pencil and some paper